Hi learners, I am Norma Dladla. I am a lecturer in agribusiness, which is under primary agriculture at Sibande College in Perdekop campus in the Mpumalanga province. The lesson outcomes. By the end of the lesson, the learners must be able to list 2 financial statements specifically in agribusiness, to define the balance sheet in agribusiness, to explain the functions of the balance sheet in agribusiness, to list the elements of a balance sheet in agribusiness, and to construct an agribusiness balance sheet. Mrs. Mohalali has already done a lesson on the balance sheet, but I will be specific on a balance sheet in agribusiness. Agribusiness consists of 2 financial statements, which are also the balance sheet and the income statement. In this lesson, we will concentrate on the balance sheet, since it is the most important document in record keeping in agribusiness. The balance sheet. To define a balance sheet, the balance sheet is a statement of assets and liabilities at the end of a particular date. This is usually at the end or beginning of the financial year. The balance sheet shows the value of assets as against the value of liabilities at a given date. It shows a cumulative effect of all financial transactions which occurred during the year. The function of the balance sheet. The primary function of a balance sheet in agribusiness is to measure the financial solvency of a farm, since it indicates the extent to which assets match the liabilities, especially agricultural assets. Elements of a balance sheet in agribusiness. The balance sheet is made up of 3 parts, which can be represented by the following equation. Assets is equal to liabilities plus net worth. To define net worth. Net worth is the capital amount, also referred to as owner's equity. The capital amount is the amount owed to the business owner or shareholders. Liabilities. Liabilities is what the business owner owes to other parties, such as banks and trade creditors, for example, like agricultural companies. If all the assets of a business are sold and external debts settled, then the remaining cash or money or capital is left for the business owner. Net worth in agribusiness. In agribusiness, the net worth is the amount of the farmer's claim against the farm business. It is the amount the farm would retain after selling all the assets and repaying all the debts. It indicates the farm's solvency. If the net worth is negative, then the farmer is insolvent or bankrupt. If the net worth is positive, then the farm is viable and successful. Groups of assets and liabilities. Assets and liabilities are grouped according to their permanence or lifespan, which are as follows. Short-term or current, they last less than a year. Medium-term last from 1 year up to 10 years. Long-term last for 10 years and above. This grouping of assets and liabilities have strong implications for the financial analysis of an agribusiness. Now, let us look at an example of a balance sheet of Vuk'uzenzele Farm as at 31st December 2018. In this balance sheet, on the left-hand side, we have got assets. On the right-hand side, we have got liabilities. As you can see, the assets have got their values and the liabilities also have their values. Starting with the current assets of Vuk'uzenzele Farm. Their positive balance was 0. And the stocks on hand, which was like fertilizer that remained the previous year, was 35,850. The marketable livestock, which means the livestock that can be sold at any time and be converted into money, was 121,000. The total current assets was 156,850. Coming to the medium-term assets, Vuk'uzenzele Farm had vehicles and machinery, such as tractors, which were 82,189. The breeding livestock, which is used for livestock to multiply, was 395,050. The total medium-term assets was 477,239. Coming to the long-term assets, Vuk'uzenzele Farm had land which was valued at 1,755,000, and the fixed improvements, which were buildings, were valued as 614,400. The total long-term asset was 1,816,440 rand. The total assets, which include the current assets, the medium-term assets, and the total of the long-term assets, was 2,450,529 rand. Going back to the liabilities. The current liabilities were bank overdraft, which amounted to 47,000, and loans obtained from cooperative, which was 35,000. The total current liabilities were 82,000 rands. Coming to the medium-term liabilities, there was a land bank loan of 30,000. The total medium-term liabilities was 30,000. The long-term liabilities, which was the bonds. The bond was from the land, which means that the remaining amount of money that was left after Vuk'uzenzele paid for the bond was 120,000. The total long-term liabilities, which covered the total current liabilities and the total medium-term liabilities and the total long-term liabilities, was 232,000. So now, when coming to the net worth, the net worth is total assets minus total liabilities. The total assets, which were 2,450,529, minus 232,000, which were total liabilities, amounted to a net worth of 2,218,529 for the farm. In conclusion, the net worth of Vuk'uzenzele farm is 2,218,529. The above positive net worth demonstrates that the farm was viable as of December 2018. We found that in most land reform farms have not been successful because our farmers lack knowledge and skills in agriculture, especially agribusiness. Now, the purpose of this college is to actually train our students in agriculture, especially with the emphasis on agribusiness. What do we mean by that? We mean that our students have got to know about the record-keeping procedures. The balance sheet is one of the records that should be kept. So it was very, very important that I should actually give a lesson on the balance sheet for our learners. These learners, we are trying to train them or to give them knowledge and skills so that at least they can make agriculture as a business. They can actually make a living out of agriculture, and so that they can be able to go and transfer the skills to the communities and also to practice these skills. As we said that the balance sheet is a very important document because it says the status of the farm, how the farm is, whether the farm is in bankruptcy, whether the farm is actually successful. So if our students are trained and land reform farms are given to our trained students, because the students have got skills and knowledge our farmers are going to be successful. And this will also increase our domestic growth. So it is very important that they know record keeping, they know these financial statements, and they must be able to adhere to them. So we want to make sure that by the end of level 4, these students are able to go back to their communities and be able to practice what we have taught them. Since now, we want the students to have businesses of their own, especially agribusiness. Learners, since we are going to write the internal examination, let us do a revision on this question paper. The question says, Miss Beauty, as prospective farmer, invest 85,000 to produce and process high-quality organic broilers and eggs in August 2011. In November 2012, her income from the investment was 126,650 rands. The first question says, calculate Miss Beauty's return on investment for the first year of investment. The formula that we are going to use is as follows. It is return on investment is equal to gain from investment minus cost of investment over cost of investment times 100. So coming to the example, we have here the gain from investment for Miss Beauty was 126,650. Let's try and calculate that. 126,650. And then the cost of investment was 85,000. So we take out 85,000 rands, and then we divide by the cost of investment, which is 85,000. 85,000 rand. Then we get the answer. But then from this answer, we have got to multiply by 100. Now let's come again so that you can be able to understand it, learners. The cost or the gain from investment was 126,650. Then we subtract the cost of investment minus 85,000. Then we get that answer. Then we are supposed to divide that answer we've got by the cost of investment. Divide by 85,000 rands. And we get 49 over 100. But we have got to multiply that by 100 in order to see that if she made a good investment. Times 100, we get 49%. It means Miss Beauty made a profit of 49% from the 85,000 which she had invested on the organic broilers and eggs. Therefore, this is a good investment since the profit was 49% above what she had invested. Learners, I hope you have enjoyed this lesson, and I hope you will be able to practice it into your communities as you also start your own agri-business farms. Thank you.